Okay, you're rolling a number cube. So this is just a regular dice, it's just a really big one. So you've only got a 1, you've got a 2, you've got a 3, you've got a 4, and a 5, and a 6. So you have one of each of the numbers. And so we're going to talk about probability of events. So the probability of an event um, is basically, for this particular one, I want the number of favorable outcomes, which means ones that can happen, will be over the number of possible outcomes. So that's what the probability of an event is going to equal. The number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible um, outcomes. I guess I should write outcomes. So if I'm saying the probability of being odd, I have to think of all of the odd numbers on this number cube. And all my odd ones are going to be a 1, a 3, and a 5. So the number of possible or favorable outcomes are 1, 3, and 5. So 3 possible or favorable. And the number of possible is still on this dice, there's still 6 possible numbers to occur, but only 3 of them are going to be favorable for being odd. So then, of course, you would always simplify. So half of the numbers would be odd. Okay? The other way you can write probability is by writing it as a percent, and half is the same as 50%. So probability you can write as a fraction or as a percent. It can be either way. So if you have any questions on this one, actually then we have one more to go on to. If you got this short straw game going on, the probability that you draw a short straw. So I've got a bunch of straws in my hand and I'm hiding the straws so you can't actually see the length of them, and I got just a bunch of straws. So I draw the probability of drawing a short straw from a group of 40 straws. So imagine I have 40 straws in my hand and it's going to be 3/20ths. So they're saying 3 out of 20 are going to be short. So your thing is to tell me, well, if I got 40 straws, what does that mean? How many short straws do I have? So this is where you can set up a ratio and say, well, if 3 out of 20 are going to be short and I have a group of 40, remember the group is the total, and in fractions the total goes on the bottom. So here is my proportion I have just set up. So you can do it of two ways. You can do your cross products, or you can say, how do I get to 20? I can times by 2 times by 2. So by doing that, I get 40, which leaves me with x is 6. Or again, the cross products could be 20x is equal to 120. And then to get x by itself, you divide by 20. You would still get x is equal to 6. So you would say that there are 6 short straws in that particular one. So think of how you can make proportions to answer some probability questions as well. If you think you understand this one, you can click next to try some on your own.